Well, welcome back to the Piney Woods Homestead, y'all. Over the next 2 days, we're going to show you a couple of different meals that we prepare here on the homestead from food that we produce 100% right here, meat and vegetables. We're going to spotlight meat though for today and tomorrow. And we're going to start off today with a barbecued chicken you can do in the oven. It's real easy. Guys, thanks for stopping in at Piney Woods Homestead. Hit that like and subscribe if you haven't. And if you have, as always, y'all, we appreciate you. Let me show you what we're working with. All right, in my casserole pan here, I have a spatchcocked golden fryer. That's what we raised last year. It was the cross between the Delaware rooster and the speckled Sussex hens. And this chicken weighs just over 3 pounds with the back removed. And we're going to put a homemade barbecue sauce on this and let it go low and slow in the oven. So let me get to that and I'll explain to you what's in this sauce. Y'all, I have no exact recipe for you on this sauce. I don't do measurements, I just put stuff together by eye. But the base of this sauce is ketchup, and pretty much everybody's got some in the refrigerator, so ketchup is the base, probably 3/4 of a cup of ketchup. And on top of that, I've got a couple of good, probably tablespoons of lemon juice. I have apple cider vinegar, Texas Pete, and believe it or not, it's made here in North Carolina. Over in Winston-Salem, I believe. We love Texas Pete around here, so there's Texas Pete in here, there's red chili flake, garlic, onion, black pepper, salt, brown sugar, kind of heavy on the brown sugar. And I just mix that up really good. And I'm going to pour it straight over this chicken in this casserole dish. Y'all, that's all there is to it. Now we'll put it in the oven at 250 for probably about 3.5 to 4 hours. And this chicken will be fall apart tender and nice and barbecuey, where it's all mixed in there with the chicken as it's cooking in its own juices and in the juice from this barbecue sauce. We'll see you back here when I pull it out of the oven. All right, 3 hours later, and we have a beautiful barbecued chicken. This is kind of how I ate it growing up. Easy barbecue chicken in the oven. 250 for 3 hours. Lisa loves it when I do this because she gets to scrub the pan when we're done. And some glazed carrots from last year's garden. And some sauteed green beans from last year's garden. So y'all, this will be a fine meal. I'm not going to eat in front of you on camera. I'm not one of those guys. I just don't do good at eating on camera. You want to eat on camera?
No, thank you.
But guys, this is going to be our supper tonight. And we'll come back to you tomorrow and we'll have another supper out on the grill. I'm ready to dig in. All right, y'all, we're back. It's day 2 and we are putting some spare ribs over some charcoal. The way that I butcher when we're doing our Hereford hogs, when we're processing, is I'll actually take these ribs and I'll cut a portion off. And the reason I do it is because this fits perfectly on our charcoal grill. And so you can get a longer rack of spares off of your pig, but this is how I do it. But I have seasoned it with salt, pepper, black pepper, cayenne, some brown sugar, garlic, onion, some other good stuff, but it's been sitting all day, seasoned in the refrigerator. Now it's going to go on this hot grill. The last time that Lisa and I fixed some of these spare ribs, I tried something different. Instead of a longer, slower smoke, I did a hot and fast cook. And basically it was 350 to 400 degrees for an hour. And they actually came out probably the best ribs we have ever done out here. So that's what I'm shooting for again today, about 350 for an hour. They'll be not pull off the bone tender, they'll have a little bit of bite left to them. And we'll glaze them with a little bit of homemade barbecue sauce. Probably the last 20 minutes that they're cooking, let it kind of get sticky and gooey. I like sticky and gooey ribs, y'all, with a little bit of crisp to it from where you caramelize it. So I'm gonna work on that, and we'll bring you back when the ribs are done. All right, the ribs aren't done yet, but I decided I wanted to add a little more smoke to the mix, even though there's quite a bit of smoke coming off of this hardwood briquette charcoal. And so I went down to the wood pile and I grabbed some pieces of some white oak and a little bit of post oak, just to throw it here and get a little extra smoke, a little extra flavor, hopefully. Try not to burn myself. All right, it's cruising along at 300 degrees to 315, something like that. So it's going to take just a little bit longer to cook than what I had planned, but that's all right. It's a beautiful afternoon. Maybe 7 o'clock before we eat supper, but that's all right too. Some of y'all might eat late as well. But this is looking really good. It's a good little setup for doing a small rack of spare ribs like this off of our Hereford pigs. And if you hadn't followed us much, y'all, we raise all of our pork, all of our poultry. And if we want beef, well, that's a rare occasion. We'll go get us a steak somewhere, bring it home and cook it. But our beef alternative is venison, and we grind it with pork, and it actually ends up being better than any of the ground that you can buy in the store, at least around here anyhow. Well, let's just keep going, and we're going to put some homemade barbecue sauce on it and let it thicken up. It's the same sauce that I used on the chicken, y'all, with the addition of some heavier onion and garlic spices and some red chili flake and a little bit of honey, because honey is good. Y'all, while the grill's going, I'll tell you a funny little story. You know my background. If you've been following the channel for a while, you know what kind of work I did the last 15 years. And before that, you know that I used to do grading, dirt work, stuff like that. But one of the things that my oldest brother and I did was septic tank work. We installed new septic systems and we pumped out septic tanks, repaired systems, things like that. But at one time in my life, I really thought I wanted to be a chef, an actual chef in a restaurant, on a cruise ship, something like that. So I briefly enrolled in culinary school. Never even made it to class, that's how brief it was. I enrolled and then a new business venture came along. But my brother-in-law at the time, still my brother-in-law was making a joke at the supper table one night. And he said that I could just advertise my new restaurant on the pump truck, the septic tank pumping truck. But you know, I really don't think that would be very appetizing. People looking at an advertisement for a restaurant on the back of a honey wagon. I thought of that because I was using the honey and the barbecue sauce and it kind of clicked. But y'all, this is 100% food that we raise that you're seeing in this video. Chicken and pork. We don't do beef at all because we just don't have the pasture. Not that we would never do it in the future, but we would have to have way more grass than we do now, and we just don't have it. And we like the peaceful setting that we have back here in the woods. That peace and quiet is worth a whole lot in our opinion. But we'll get back to cooking on these ribs. I'll put the camera back on when we're going to baste them with some of that barbecue sauce, and let's take a look at that, guys. grill, y'all. Good looking set of spare ribs here. I'm gonna cut into them and actually give a taste on camera for you. And Lisa has prepared a garden salad. Everything in this salad,
minus the cheese, because you won't get me a cow.
Yeah, maybe a cow one day. I don't know when you'd have time for a cow. Is from the homestead. The bacon, the eggs, the pepperoncinis, the pickles, everything. The only thing in here is, like she says, cheese and some Thousand Island dressing that's going on it.
And you just made
I just made a mess. Yeah. Leave it to the man of the house to make a mess,
exactly right?
All right, let me cut into these ribs. They've been on an hour and 20 minutes at basically, if I can get the, there we go, a little over 300 to 325 is what I've cooked them at. They're spare, so they got that little bit of knuckle right there to get through. Let me cut one more. Boy, the professional chefs, they make it look so easy on TV, don't they?
I think you're just doing it because I'm hungry and you're taking your time.
We're both hungry. We normally eat supper at 6 o'clock, 6:30. It's 7 o'clock now, but we pick up one of these smoking hot ribs.
They look great.
They look fantastic. And they're hot because I just took them off the grill. I'm spitting on myself. I'm so hungry here. I'm drooling. Yeah, I wouldn't have made it as a professional chef, especially on TV. But this looks fantastic. I'm gonna get all in my beard.
I was just thinking that.
It don't get no better than that. It doesn't get any better than that. Homegrown. We raised it, grew it, butchered it, picked it, cooked it. Everything right here, y'all. Let me try some of your salad. That is fantastic. And that's that.
That's the Cherokee.
Cherokee lettuce.
Yeah.
Cherokee lettuce. Eggs from the homestead, bacon, pepperoncinis,
pickles.
There was a saying my daddy always used growing up. He'd say, that make you slap your granny right there. It's that good, y'all. You can go out, buy this meal in a restaurant. I don't know how much that would be, because we ain't been to a restaurant in a long time. But there's no value that you can put on raising your own food, y'all, growing your own vegetables, your own meat. There's no value you can really put on that. So if you hadn't done it, get out there and try it, guys. Thanks for stopping in at the Piney Woods.
Let's eat.
Hopefully I hadn't bored you to death. Y'all have a good day, a great week. Lord willing and the creek don't rise too high. We'll see you on the next one, guys. I'll eat some more of that salad first.